My name is Michelle Harpole. My position here at the Fairbanks Rescue Mission is Administrative Director. I came here 8 years ago and thought about all the things that I've seen in those 8 years. And to tell you the truth, I was starting to write it down, and it almost made me cry because I have seen such a depth of pain, and I have also seen just a very great generosity from our community. My office is right in the center of the building, and so I see people as they come in, and I have seen such a variety of things. I come to work and I don't really know what the day is going to bring, and I think that we hold that in common with first responders here, that we don't know what the day will bring, and we don't really get to choose what the day will bring. But I have to admit that that I don't feel like I'm putting my life on the line when I walk in the door. So that's sort of a difference between what we do here and first responders. But we see, I think, a lot of the same people. We see people who are in pain, who are confused, who are a little bit lost. One of the things that I was thinking about when I was considering how we work with first responders is I remembered a time when a young woman came into the building, and she had her baby swaddled in the wintertime, and she unswaddled her baby, and the baby wasn't breathing. And so we had staff doing CPR, and of course we called emergency. And I remember the young men, the EMTs that came in, and how they were just hoping with us that they could revive this baby. And I think that how often we kind of work shoulder to shoulder with our first responders. Here at the Rescue Mission, we deal with life and death issues. Bringing people into shelter out of the cold is really a life and death issue here. And we know that our EMTs and our policemen, our firemen deal with life and death issues too. And I just so appreciate the way that the policemen value each life, because it's really our heart too. Each life, you don't know the journey that someone's been on. You don't know what has brought them to this place, but you do know that they're deserving of dignity and respect. And I see that in the policemen and the EMTs that come into our building. We have to call the ambulance pretty often because we have people who are ill here. Maybe that's why they're here, is because they're ill. And there's a very great patience in being called yet again, but coming in and dealing with each person really individually, personally, respectfully, and I really admire that.
Hello, my name is Alan Lamprey, and I'm the men's shelter manager here at the Fairbanks Rescue Mission. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I was born in Arlington, Virginia. Right now I'm 57 years old. I grew up a little bit in Arlington and went through school, and I'm a recovering alcoholic, and got in a little trouble in Arlington, and I was chased a lot by the police. I stole cars, I broke into houses, and I can tell you a funny little story. Back in the day, the police officers had us lined up against the wall, and I was in pretty good shape back then. I was a football player, and I could run. And they had us me and my buddies lined up against the wall, and they put me over in the corner, and I took off. And the sergeant there told the rookie, don't go after him. You'll never catch him. He runs like a deer. We'll wait for him. We'll get him later. So it's a funny story. I knew all the police officers by name, and they knew me. I was just trouble. And I spent before I came to the mission, I spent a good 25 years of drinking and drugging and running from law enforcement and just a bad person. And then I came here to Alaska, and same thing started again. And I thought I was just going to die here. I thought I'd come here to die. And I spent a winter out there in the cold, abandoned building, till finally somebody from a 12-step group came and got me and took me to a meeting. And I don't remember too much. I was in a semi-blackout. And they got me to detox, but you know how it goes, just in and out of detox, sleep off, and you know, the same old thing. And then finally one day at detox, the lady goes, "Would you like to get sober?" And I go, "Oh, it was only that easy." She goes, "No, there's a place in town here that can help you, the Ralph Purdue Center." I said, "Oh yeah, yes, I can't go back to the street." And they got me into the Ralph Purdue Center. And I spent 47 days there just trying to dry out. I was in just terrible shape. And then the day came when, okay, you gotta go. And they had told me about this place here, the Fairbanks Rescue Mission, that there's a program, the Genesis. And I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay, I'm interested, yeah, because I don't want to go back to the street." I had somebody come pick me up and literally bring me over here. I didn't want to be on the street 1 second. And yeah, and I met this Hawaiian fellow, Austin Brown, and he's in charge of the Genesis. He says, "Yeah, well, we'll see how you fit." And I spent 10 days up in the A dorm here. I was a client here at the Rescue Mission, and I did the Genesis program, graduated in a year, and there had been a position open here as a cook, weekend cook. And I said, "Yes, Rodney, I'd like to do that." So I worked here and moving furniture, and another position to open up in a 12-step place, the Alano Club, and it's for a caretaker, and I did that. So I was working 3 jobs around the clock. Then about a year had gone by, the shelter manager position had opened, and I really wasn't sure about that, but the Lord moves our steps, moves our way, and He put me in that position. And it's so ironic. I now work with the first responders, and let me tell you a funny story. When I first started as the shelter manager, one of the clients come down the hall and said, "The troopers are looking for you," and I took off. I took off down the hall. No, they want to talk to you. I said, "Okay, well, tell me that. Don't tell me they're looking for me, okay?" I wasn't wanted or anything, but it's that, that mindset, "Oh, I've done something wrong. I gotta go, gotta run." But it's been such a blessing to work with these guys. In the Fairbanks Police Department, I know some of these guys by name. I had to something had happened in here, and I had to be subpoenaed, and I got to meet this police officer and talk with him because he was subpoenaed too. And we became friends. He comes in here, "Hey, Al, I need to, I need to check on so-and-so if he's okay. His family doesn't know where he is. We need just to see if he's all right." And that, I got to see the other part of the police officer, that they care. They're looking for somebody that might be hurt. Not that they're here to arrest somebody, that they care. They're looking to help somebody. And I'm just amazed at how professional they are, and the ambulance, because we have some guys that are really sick, and they come here and they treat them with respect, and they talk with me. "Okay, what's wrong?" And "All right, we're going to take you to the hospital." And then they let me know where they're at, what room, and I get to go pray with them and see them. And it's been it's a blessing. And I work with the hospital there. I work with the nurses there, what room, and I come and see them, and I pray with them. And yeah, it's been a blessing, and I'm just so grateful for this job and the support that we have from the police and the ambulance and the fire and the rescue here, and the state troopers also. So that's my story there.
Hi, my name is Austin Brown. I'm the operations manager here at the Fairbanks Rescue Mission. In the recent past, we have been so very appreciative of our civil servants who continue to provide safety for us here, for our client base. Oftentimes, vulnerable individuals of our society. Here yesterday, for example, we had a vulnerable individual who was coming down from a combination of substances and unable to provide adequate care. We couldn't provide adequate care. So when a call was made for an ambulance, not only did an ambulance show up to assist this individual, but a couple of other police vehicles showed up, and there was some difficulty in getting her back to the hospital. But when the police represented her greater needs to the hospital, they were willing to accept her. And we're so very thankful that this person is not walking the streets and not being taken advantage of currently, but being provided for adequately by the hospital. So the intervention which was introduced by the police department is making all the difference for this individual. We work in collaboration. We desire to work in collaboration with them. And when we see that demonstrated, we want to compliment what they're doing. So that's one of the circumstances that we're grateful for.
My name is Rebecca Miller. I'm the Women's Shelter Manager here at the Fairbanks Rescue Mission. I am also the Genesis Team Leader for the Women, which is a substance abuse treatment program that focuses on addiction to substance abuse and other destructive behaviors that go along with that lifestyle. One first responder that comes to mind is Sergeant Scott Johnson. A couple years ago, he had brought a young woman here where he had to respond to a call. She had done some online dating from overseas, and she ended up traveling over here to be with the guy, and he wasn't exactly who he said he was online, and so found herself in a situation with no one to turn to. She didn't know anybody, and so the authorities were called, first responders, and Sergeant Scott Johnson was the one that responded to the call. And because she didn't have anywhere to go, he brought her here. And I got the call from Sergeant Johnson saying he got an interpreter for us to be able to communicate, and told me a little bit about the situation, and asked if she could stay here. And he was just so kind and compassionate, and really went out of his way to help this young woman who didn't have anybody, who was in a totally different world, and let me know if there was anything he could do to help provide any kind of services as far as any avenues to be able to get her back home, then just to give him a call, and he would do what he could. Fairbanks, Alaska is definitely not a place you want to come and not have anyone or anywhere to turn to because of the below temperature or the below zero temperatures and stuff like that. I mean, it can be deadly. And so, here was this young woman who, it was cold. It was, she didn't know anyone. She was in a different world, which is culture shock because it's not the culture she was used to. Couldn't speak any English. And so for him to go above and beyond like that was an amazing thing for him to do. It was actually 2 days before he had passed away in the line of duty that he had brought the young woman to the rescue mission, and that I had talked to him, and it was pretty detrimental, pretty hard for this young woman to learn that Sergeant Johnson had passed away, because they really connected. I think he really helped her not feel so alone in the